Shalom family, welcome to another edition of Sisters of the Maccabees. And I'm sitting here with my sister, Mayanah. Shalom sis, how you doing?
Shalom.
All right, introduce yourself to the family, let them know what camp you're a part of, and
Sister Mayanah, Rawchaa, and I'm with Lions of Israel, House of Yashar.
all right, so you're the wife of Officer Yashar.
Khan.
We just did an interview with Officer Yashar, and what do you think he talked about in the interview?
We probably talked about health and wellness.
Yeah.
And don't, you know what? Yeah, I mean, he probably talked about fitness, health and wellness, nutrition, along those lines, I'm sure.
So you guys talk about that a little bit at home?
Maybe, un poquito.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So I've been waiting to get you on for a long time. So I want you to tell the people, what do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher, so
Right.
I teach in Newark, New Jersey.
So we have 2 teachers in our camp. So what brought you into the field of teaching? What interested you in that?
To be honest, it started off when I was younger. I had a summer job, and it was at a daycare. And I just, after the summer, like, I fell in love with the kids. I said, you know, I really, really like kids. So when I went to college, every summer I would come home. I would go back to the same place. And it just, you know, it was something that my passion for kids, you know, definitely came out when I had that job. So I wanted to pick up.
What grade of children do you teach currently?
Right now, 2nd grade.
2nd grade, okay. And you graduated from college?
I did. I went to Hampton University. So, and then I finished up my degree. I had my daughter while I was at Hampton. So then I finished up my degree online with Ashford University. My bachelor's was in social science, and my master's is in education with a specialization in special education.
Wow, so you got a master's degree. Fantastic, fantastic. So all my questions lead me to the main questions that I wanted to ask you. So obviously you have a full-time career that, the type of career that you're in not just requires you obviously to work at school, but a lot of times you take your work home with you. You know, I'm sure that you have to grade papers, and sometimes you probably have to speak with parents and, you know, communicate with different things. So you're pretty much working almost 24 hours a day, you know. On top of that, you're a wife, and on top of that, you're a mother. How do you balance it all out and make it work?
I guess the biggest thing would just be, you know, I mean, with everything there has to be order. So just in the same way as far as a household with, you know, Rawchaa, man, wife, and child, you have to prioritize. So, for instance, I have with work, I don't do anything after 8:30. I don't take any more calls. I don't, you know, grade a paper or anything after 8:30. And I just, you know, have to create those boundaries, although sometimes, you know, it can, you know, spill over. But I just, you know, I prioritize. So, of course, you know, the household comes first, and then I take care of what I have to, you know, take care of as a professional. But definitely keeping those boundaries, like, it helps keep the order.
So you have a lot of younger sisters that's coming into the truth, and some of them are still, you know, trying to figure out what their career path is going to be. And so they're doing that, and some of them may already have careers, but they don't have a husband, so forth and so on. So what type of advice would you give to a young sister that's coming into the truth that might have a, you know, a career or on a career path, but doesn't have a husband? What should she expect when the husband comes into the picture, and how would you advise her to balance it out to make it all work? Because we know it's tough.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing would just be to, there are certain things that are non-negotiable. So, like, for instance, there are certain people who, you know, are single, no kids, they can afford to make their career their life. It's just something they can do. I feel like once you identify the priorities in life, then the rest kind of just comes easy. So because I know that, you know, as much as I have a passion for working with kids and, you know, that's my profession, I don't enjoy it. I don't love it more than I love, you know, my husband, more than I love my daughter. So it's a non-negotiable that it can't trump those things. Because I know that and have identified that, it's easy for me to then put in the rules of, okay, I'm not grading papers past this time, or I'm not, you know, taking phone calls from parents past this time. So I think they just have to, first and foremost, identify for themselves what their priorities are. And then once that's identified, the rest will just kind of, help fall into, the organizational buckets that, need me on a weekly, daily schedule.
Okay. So now I have another question. I did a documentary about a year ago with a lot of sisters from our camp in AOC. This was before you and your husband joined the camp. I'm not sure if you saw that documentary that I did. Okay. So I'm going to ask you one or two of the questions that I asked the sisters. How would you describe your marriage? Is your marriage happy?
Yes.
Okay. Because the perception is out there that Israelite women, you're miserable. Your husband, when you come home from work every day, your husband beats you up, curses you out, and treats you like a second-class citizen in your own home. That is the perception. I got jokes over here. Brother got jokes, Yeah. Hey, but that's the perception that's out there, that our sisters are treated, like second-class citizens and everything. So my question to you is, having been a part of our camp, we'll start off with your relationship. What is your relationship like? And also, what have you observed based on interacting with other sisters in the camp as well? Because you have sisters out there that talking about these things helps them. They don't have a husband yet. They don't know what to expect. So it's very important.
Well, my relationship, first of all, I'm Judah, so ain't none of that. No, I'm just playing. But
you not Ephraim?
No.
There's a little backstory behind that. I don't know. We ain't gonna put you on the spot about that right now. Another video. Go ahead.
But no, I just see through my train of thought of
Sure. I said, what's the state of your marriage right now? You said you're happy.
Yeah. Yes, so. I am happy. I think coming into the truth, the beautiful thing about that was it gave even more, I guess, for lack of a better word, or organization into our marriage. You have people that may be in a relationship and when they get angry, they don't fight fair. Not to say that was the case with my marriage, but I believe that the truth then, identifies certain boundaries for you. And it's like, listen, like, no matter what, this is a line that doesn't get crossed. This is how we're going to treat one another, and point blank period. Like, there's no, what's the word? There's no, tampering with the laws. So because of the laws, there are certain things that it's just like, I know no matter what, I can rely on this. So it definitely gave us that, firm foundation. We had been together almost 10 years prior to coming into the truth. So we had a foundation, but that definitely, added to our foundation. So
what do you observe about the other marriages? Because maybe you're the only Israelite woman in the whole world that has a good marriage. What do you observe about the other marriages, the other sisters? Are the rest of them unhappy and you just,
No, absolutely not. I definitely, I love how I've witnessed the balance. Like, there's a balance, and then there's no argument with, I know a lot of times in the world you have sisters that, they fight for control, or they fight for that role that is within the truth. It's like there's no fighting for it. We're just, know the roles, and it brings order, it brings peace to the whole house, because it's like, it makes everything, run smoothly when you all know, the roles.
One of the things that I love about you and your husband being in addition to our camp, but this this goes for any sister that's a part of anybody. One of the things I love about y'all when y'all came into the camp is that you came in ready to not only be a part of Lines of Israel, but also to assist and help us build and further the gospel. And what I think is that there are a lot of sisters out there that don't really know where they fit in when it comes into the truth. They really feel like there's nothing that they can do. There's, what am I supposed to do? So I want you to kind of address that a little bit, because I know you always are coming with ideas. You're always, willing to help and fill in wherever you can. So I want you to speak to the sisters out there and let them know, from your perspective, what it is that they can do, how it is that they can assist in helping the gospel further,
To be honest, that was something, like, first coming in that I struggled with myself, because I felt like, I'm not the best at sewing, or, I know how to cook, but I felt like, I was unsure about where to fit in. And to be honest, I prayed to the Most High for, Him to, fill me more and just use me as a vessel, so that wherever I'm needed, when I prayed about that, it helped me to stop putting so much pressure on myself to, you have to do this, or you have to be the person to do this for the camp. And when I stopped putting that pressure on myself, then it just, it came naturally. I'm like, I'm just going to bring Mayanah to the table, and wherever Mayanah might be needed, that's where, I would contribute, because I could possibly be needed in one instance for one thing, and then in another instance, not necessarily needed in the same capacity. So,
because a lot of sisters think that the only thing that they could do to assist in the truth is to cook and to sew. But there's a lot of sisters with a lot of different talents. Sisters, educated sisters that know about, can help brothers get jobs. Sisters that can come, do resumes. Sisters that can, a bunch of different talents.
Yeah.
And basically, I like the fact that you use your talents and come into, to the camp and help everybody as far as what it is that you know how to do. So I just wanted you to give a word of, a word to the other sisters out there that they can do the same.
Yeah, my whole thing is, the person that you are before you came into the truth, you're really just you're adding to it. So when you're able to now have the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, you're not losing anything. So those same traits and things you were good at before, you're still good at. So just bring you into the truth. It's not just you gaining something, but bring yourself into the truth, and just be you.
Officer Yashar, you have any questions for your wife?
Why you ain't cook me nothing? No, I'm good. She's good. Excellent wife. A lot of people can learn from her, because one of the things that I love about her is her humble spirit. And she humbles me, because I thought I was humble when I came into the truth. I thought, before I met her and stuff, but I've been humbled by dealing with her, because a lot of things that we normally do as men, and we've been kind of Americanized ourselves, even if we're in the truth, and we think that there's a certain way to rule, and so we kind of rule with an iron hand. And I realized that even though I'm from Judah, Lion of Judah, you don't have to be stomping around in your own house, like like it's a jungle. But she showed me that, and her approach was different. We didn't go back and forth with this big heated argument, and she being catty and stuff, and I don't like her mouth and stuff like that. No, she came to me different, and I wasn't used to that, So because of her humble spirit, I was able to listen. If she would have came with me with the energy that I was coming with, because of what I was going through in the world, it wouldn't have worked. But she humbled me.
Okay, so I have one last question, and I'll see if any of the elders want to ask a question. And I'm going to ask a lot of sisters this question, because I think there's a misconception. Every sister says that they're a Proverbs 31 woman. You read Proverbs 31? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is your definition of a Proverbs 31 woman?
I think I would have to say that a woman who is not... Well, I'm going to give an example, through that example, and hopefully that'll answer the question. But a lot of times, people automatically, when you say the word leader, they feel as though, that's the person at the forefront, that's the person that's, the rah-rah, the loudest, or the bravest, or whatever. And I feel like in relation to being a Proverbs 31 woman, is just the type of woman that isn't afraid to take a backseat to the Most High. A lot of times we feel like because of things that we've read, or because of things that we see growing up inside or outside of the truth, that's what makes us a good person. But I feel as though the type of woman that just knows, it's not about you. You're just a vessel for the Most High. And once you are literally in every aspect unafraid to deplete yourself and be filled with the Most High, that you only then can you truly be a Proverbs 31 woman.
If I could just say, right, when you read about the Proverbs 31 woman, and that was a great answer, by the way, when you read about the Proverbs 31 woman, one word comes to mind. The word is that she was industrious. It tells you about all the things that she was able to do. You see what I'm saying? When you go back and you read that story, a lot of sisters feel as though if they wear a long dress with some fringes and a veil, that they're a Proverbs 31 woman. You know what I'm saying? If they don't, argue with their husband too much, if they have, that they're Proverbs 31 woman, you might be a good woman, But a Proverbs 31 woman is an industrious woman. You know what I'm saying? She's assisting her husband in every way, every way possible, including what you just said. So she's very, very industrious when you go back and read that story, which is something which harkens back to something I said to you about before. When you came into the camp, the first thing that you wanted to do was you wanted to contribute. So that's being industrious. That's what the Most High is looking for. You see what I'm saying? And when you go and you read about your foremothers, especially the ones in the New Testament that Paul was always talking about, when you read Romans, the 15th or the 16th chapter, I forget, Paul was commending all the sisters like Phoebe, like Dorcas and different sisters like that throughout the New Testament. They were all industrious. So it's very, very, Tabitha is another one. She's very industrious. So those are the goals that our sisters that are watching this video should, try to attain to. So before I let you go, Sister Mayanah, anybody else have any other questions they want to ask the sister? You have excellent interview, sister. We ain't gonna gas you up. It was alright. Officer,
There's always one.
Yeah. I gotta be a hater. Anything else, Officer Yashar? All right, man.
My wife.
Yeah, because you just want.
Yeah. My wife.
Hey, so. Go ahead, Captain Tom.
When you deplete yourself, like the sister said, it's easy to say those words to your wife or even to your brothers. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, the moral of the story is, we have happy Israelite sisters in the truth. So
Don't believe the myth.
Don't believe the myth.
Believe the myth. Trying to make Israelite. There's a war on us as black people. There's a war on us as men and as women, especially us that's in the truth. Don't believe the hype. This is a living example, man. Don't believe the hype.
And family, yes, Khan, Bunya Wasap is loud as always, Israel. Wherever he goes, no doubt. All right, so with that, family, we're going to say shalom. All praise, man. Thank you. Thank you for the interview, sis. Most High bless you. Shalom.